Hey guys, and welcome back to Will It Work, and this week we're going to have a Will It Work special. I'm going to have 3 episodes back to back where I play decks that involve both Day of the Dragons and Magda, the Queen of the Dragons you could say. And I'm starting things off with a deck that was quite popular once upon a time. It was called Live the Dream by a player named Snellian, and actually Aurora's Dream got nerfed. I don't know if it was a response to this deck, but this control deck was incredibly powerful and very hard to stop. So I've taken the Live the Dream shell and I've adapted it to a Day of the Dragons deck. Now I do want to try Modnik's old Day of the Dragons deck a little later on, but we're going to start things off with this build, and so far it's been alright. I've played a couple of games of it. I've managed to I managed a King Magnus hit into a Windfall into Day of the Dragons into Garadan and clear a board. It was pretty fantastic. And now with the Wildland change cost, you can use stuff like Garadan and the Tephra and stuff like that. We're just using the lakes, which is fantastic. I also had Magnus on 1 life, and I was able to Aurora Same into a Krog, which awesome stuff. So I'm looking forward to playing this deck with you guys. Let's get into the matches and see, will it work? Alright, first match. Let's throw all of these away. And we're looking for generally like Lore Thief, Gabrian Archon. They're the best openers for us. This is a little bad actually. I guess I could play a Plague Bearer to start collecting, but I probably won't bother. I'll probably just wait until I get Storm Spawn. Unless I'm playing against blue, then I'm not too keen on the whole Storm Spawn thing. Now I'm just deciding, do I go for the Archon lines to our charge 2, but also the dragons benefit from as well, so we can build dragons on the wells and then the dragons can double collect. But if it is rush, I'm in a bit of trouble. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the lake on the left side of my orb, and then I'm going to build up this way. I'm going to build up this way. Very much depends on what my opponent's playing. For us, it's actually better if he isn't playing blue, because I need to set up Storm Spawn as a harvester if I can. I could Aurora this actually. I could go next turn. I could go like Plague Bearer into Aurora. So I'm just going to build up this way instead. We'll just build defensively because our hand doesn't really cater to an Archon line. I've had a couple of games recently where I've drawn Archon in like the opening hand, so I've tried to make sure that I benefit from it. So now we have the Failed Experiment, which is part of the combination with both Plague Bearer and Storm Spawn. So what you can do with this combo is you can play a Plague Bearer and then Failed Experiment another Plague Bearer, and then you do a 4 damage AoE to the board. I feel like I just play Storm Spawn because it trades with the Axe Grinder and I'll get that 10 Faeria refund. But I do need to draw. I do need to start developing more lands for this trick. And the eventual, well, of course the eventual Aurora's Dream, which is now 5 lakes. Now I could +1 into Storm Spawn. You know what, I don't think it's worth it. I feel like we should just continue building lands at this point. Because if a combat creature was to come down, I'd be able to Aurora's Trick it in the future. So I can take those Brigands, those Grimguards, all those annoying cards. If I connect this up, there's a potential Horsemaster play. So I feel like I'm just going to build defensively here. We'll just pass. Like I said, I need to continue building lakes, just because I have the trick in hand and it might become useful during this matchup. I'm not entirely sure what my opponent's playing yet. I see an Axe Grinder and I see a Desert. Could be anything at this point, who knows. And it looks like my opponent wants to go in between the wells. So potentially just a slower deck or just respecting my options. It's very hard to say actually, and I can actually go here if I want to. And then just go into the Storm Spawn to challenge the Axe Grinder. I can play the Storm Spawn here just to make sure that I can clear it on my terms. But there could be a double neutral into Wind Soldier potentially. I could Failed Experiment into Storm Spawn, into Archon, but the problem is I don't have the 6/6. I'd rather this become a 6/6. And we've already kind of agreed that, well, you're going to use the Storm Spawn to kill this Axe Grinder. Actually, don't mind putting it here. I could put it here so I can move and clear, but then if the Axe Grinder just chills, I'm not killing it. So let's get the Storm Spawn down. Now, luckily for me, the only thing it's really vulnerable against is the Crystal Flower, which would actually be a massive problem for me. And excuse Kupo's tail there. Yep, gonna trade off there. That's exactly what I wanted. Going into a Cobbled Warbeast. Okay, so this is red, yellow, angry. This is gonna run Hate Seeds and Firebringers and all that good stuff. Yak Attack's not bad, actually. Yak Attack Aurora is pretty good. Let's do it. I can start collecting off. I can actually collect off multiple wells this way. Now, this deck originally had, I do believe it had 2 Yak Attacks. But I did ultimately decide that 2 Yak Attacks was too much for me for running Magda. I needed to make room, basically. I just needed to make room. This is really good. I like this a lot. I'm a little vulnerable to Garadan, but to be fair, like, I could just follow it with Archon. My opponent's not going to do much else and play maybe Garadan and a creature. Maybe I could have just cleared it with 2 Yaks and went for an Archon. Possibly just a better play in general. See if Garadan comes in. This, I do get punished by Garadan here. I should have been a bit more conscious about that. But then again, why would this deck run Garadan? It's an angry deck. See, I knew there's some method to my madness somewhere. Yeah, I'm not expecting Garadan simply because it doesn't really play into the angry concept that well. Right, now we can just draw cards. We can definitely just start with collecting pretty well. I could go Lake into Archon so I can start moving around here to collect. But let's take some draws. Let's start building towards our win conditions, such as Day of the Dragons. Another great thing about Day of the Dragons in this deck, which I've just realized, is you can Day of the Dragons and Failed Experiment a dragon just to get its effect, which is pretty fantastic, actually. I feel it's very strong. And sit on this mountain, I think, just so I don't want like an Axe Grinder or a Ground Shaker coming down there. Yeah, I feel like we just passed. You know, ball control's okay. We got a decent amount of Faeria going into the next turn. As long as I can collect maybe 1, I'd be pretty happy. I can go Day of the Dragons, Failed Experiment at some point. Reduce it by 4, gonna cost 3 less. So my dragon's gonna actually cost 3. So if I do need to run if I do need like an emergency Garadan, it is very possible. Very conservative lines right now, just taking the time. And the more of these creatures that get played, the bigger the Firebringer is going to be in a late game. But I do have 3 Frogify in here, so I have some very good answers. Now, I don't really know. I guess I could draw and just see if we get any better options. Frogify, I'll keep that for the future. I can just clean up the board here and pass. And we're just saving up towards Aurora's Dream at that point. I can even move Aurora into double collection. I guess I could play an Archon just for safety. The old safety Archon. Because if we double collect next turn, I draw Aurora's Dream, I actually can play it. Because I'll have 4 Faeria remaining. I'll be able to windfall up to 12, double collect up to 24, and then play the Dream. And then I have a mountain of options going forward. I got a 0-cost Day of the Dragons. So I'll be able to get for those 4 dragons into my hand for the 0 cost. And then I can go into like potentially another windfall if I draw one, which would be fantastic. Because then I could go like windfall, Day of the Dragons into potentially, I don't know, anything really. Tephra, Azari. A lot of great options from Day of the Dragons now. It's had this change. A Demon Wing, oh my goodness. and a pest. Oh man, we are throwing back here, and I'm just gonna Gyarados this board for sure, without a doubt. And I could even develop an aggressive Gyarados here. I'll have enough, right? Because I'll be able to Windfall into Day into. Oh, I might need to play something first. I might need to experiment actually. Because where are we for cards? I play Windfall, I go down to having it 2, 3. I'll lose a dragon. I don't quite remember the order they are played in. I know. I guess we're gonna find out. I guess I could failed experiment, so I could just failed experiment the Gyarados and save some Faeria. That's not bad actually. We'll do that. So Windfall. We'll play failed experiment into Day of the Dragons. Failed experiment again. So I used the failed experiment as a way to just empty my hand so I can get another dragon. So we can now just go to Plague Bearer. Just play it down here. It's a little dangerous. I don't know. It kills my Aurora. Maybe I just don't take value on it. Take +1. I mean, I just want Faeria now. I want to be able to play Tephra next turn and just smoke my opponent. And the amazing thing about Wildlands as well, I can just summon it anyway. I don't even need a special land. So even if I go double neutral, I can like double neutral Tephra, and then I can play Tephra in this spot, and then Tephra can even push damage on the follow-up. I miss value. I didn't, yeah. No, I was going to play Plague Bearer there. It's funny, actually. My brain was like, Plague Bearer 0 cost, but Plague Bearer would have died. That would have been a big problem. It's a 9/9 Firebringer. He's a big boy. Big boy Firebringer. Now I just Frogify this, I think, and just kill it. Because I can't afford the Tephra right now. Go. And now Tephra can come down next turn, and that's going to be +5/5. It's going to go 9 to the face with a 6/6 next to the orb. My opponent's Faeria starved. I'm a little Faeria starved, but I have more cards in hand, more creatures on board, so I'm definitely ahead. And how does red yellow deal with like a Tephra power up? I don't know, unless it runs Crystal Flower. Aurora's Trick's going to be pretty dead in this matchup, to be honest. I'm not going to get much out of it, since everything's going to have high attack. Unless he plays like Plague Bearer. Is that just another... It is just another Firebringer, okay. We're still in a very strong position to go for a Tephra. And actually, I'm just going to... I might just double neutral. Let me just test something, yeah. Okay. So what I can do is this. I could have actually done it on Tephra, maybe, but I want these to trade. I don't want the Firebringer to live. That's pretty awesome, guys, that we can summon dragons on neutral tiles. Because if I had to build forests, like, this deck wouldn't work. 100% wouldn't work. The fact that we can summon dragons on neutral tiles actually gives us more flexibility when setting up additional collectors. So let's just say, for argument's sake, that the game went on a little longer. I would be quad collector next turn if I wanted, or I could just apply pressure. So it's very... Excuse that sound, I was Cooper trying to jump on me. But yeah, that's a very cool feature from the transformation into Wildlands. But yeah, let's get into our next game, and hopefully... Hopefully, we can continue this win streak. Alright guys, into another match. Magda in the opening hand. Now, I haven't really considered keeping Magda, because we don't have elementals. So I'm just going to throw these away and keep Archon. I mean, I could keep Windfall, actually. Yeah, let's keep the Windfall, just because it enables the Archon. Alright, let's see what we're going up against. I think Rush is going to be awful for this deck, but any kind of mid-range control deck we should do fine against. Rush is going to be a big problem. I played against Mino Caro earlier, and I just got smoked. I did make a misplay, unfortunately, but yeah, the smoke did get me. I thought Cooper would settle down on my lap, but now she's trying to attack my arm. She is a feisty little cat. As you can see, I'm just trying to dodge you. Stop that, you. And yeah, it turns out she doesn't like Day of the Dragons or Magda. Alright, Shedding Brute. This does mean that trick could be pretty good in this deck. Another... okay, so this is pretty interesting. Because now I could go explore into lake. I could play the Archon. But I'm going to wait because I want to double Windfall to make sure that the Archon will get the power up. Because this is a 6/6 Archon, it's going to be much more difficult to deal with. I could also put it in a position where it can challenge the Brute. The only problem is Brute can receive Gift of Steel. And that could be problematic. Now we're getting into Kaleem's training Fanatic range. It's a little unfortunate. Let's double Windfall here. No heal in this deck outside of Radiance. I could actually play the Spawn, but I'm gonna wait until we pick up an Experiment, because the Experiment gives us the big lump of Faeria. Let's see if I get punished. Now I could have pre-Frogified. I probably should have. But this is fine actually. I can just... oh wow, that's fantastic. So now I can just do this. Go into the Frogify. Just go for a central Archon so it can't jump on my own land. And then it has to jump back and double collect. But this puts Archon in a very good position to challenge any creatures that come from this area. And I'm really starved on cards. I would like to continue building towards, towards getting more cards in my hand, but I've got an opportunity to triple collect here. I feel we take the draw still. Okay. Now, one thing to take into consideration if you're not familiar with Aurora's Dream, it does not affect Radiance. Not at all. Radiance is not affected. Gift of Steel. Gift of Steel. Gift of Steel. Ow. Well, Radiance is cheaper. Guess we're going for the old top deck Frogify. Well, I guess it's just the end, right? I just needed a top deck Frogify. I guess I shouldn't have Frogified the Brute, you could argue, but who would have known that my opponent would have Scourge Flame triple Gift of Steel? Oh my goodness. Could I have done anything better? I don't know. I'm not even going to really think about it, to be honest. But yeah, I guess that's just going to be game. Unfortunately, we're doing pretty well until our opponent drew an absolute godlike hand. But yeah, that's going to be it for this one. Oh, Kubo, come on, mate. Let's get on to our next. All right, guys, into our next match. Let's just throw these away. No creature to start off with. Low Thief's not too bad, as long as we're not playing against red or yellow. Because it's just going to get removed. If it gets removed by Grind Shaker, it's the saddest thing. And we'll take a lake on the side of our orb, just to play around a rush opener. This would be a different land placement if I had Archon, because I'd just go for Archon anyway. Now, Aurora's trick has been okay. I've used it once in 4 games, so I'm not sure if it is really catered towards the meta right now. And it's going to be Rush, so this is going to be my biggest challenge, because I don't think this deck does well against Rush at all. And I'm drawing very clunky Aurora's tricks. The Lore Thief cycling is pretty good for me, just because it will allow me to get a Radiance off. That's quite effective. And I could use this as my win condition now. This is probably going to be my win condition. This card's never getting cast. It is just not happening, unfortunately. But sometimes you draw it. I'd rather draw this later, because obviously it's very expensive. But the longer it stays in my deck, the better chance I have something like Magda being able, not Magda, sorry, Magnus, because I have both their Royal Majesties in this list. I have a better chance of that card being impactful. Now, I'm a little cautious of potential Verdant Force coming down, or something quite big. I don't want to lose my Archon just yet, so I'm going to put the Archon on the left-hand side. Now, the Wood Elemental is going to make this card pretty good, because I'm going to be able to collect off my opponents well, and even setting up an aggressive land if I need one in the future. This is a very curious Wood Elemental play for a Rush strategy. And it will be mine in 2 turns. And I will collect off this well very effectively for a while. The defensive forest in this position is actually pretty beneficial to an Aurora's trick play. There's Virgin Force, like I said. Simply because it will allow my opponent to develop creatures here to try and get this back. Alright. We're actually going to move this here. Because it prevents my opponent from building land here, collecting, and then clearing the Lore Thief, and forcing my opponent to build land in this position in order to take care of that card. It's a little scary, I'm not going to lie. Not too keen on fighting this just yet. The best thing that could happen for me right now is a Wood Elemental come here, and then I can trick it. Get very, very tricky. I can actually arc. Okay, now that changes things. Maybe I wait a turn and just clear this out with the. Oh no, I won't be able to turn this yet. I haven't played another card of the value I need. If this comes down here, I'm gonna have a difficult time in taking care of it. So I'm thinking of taking the land here, so I have the option to double neutral and take care of this on the follow-up. Yeah, so let's just move here. Let's not give this away just yet. Let's just trick this guy and just pass. Because I do have Radiance, I have a way I can heal, and if I was to failed experiment Stormspawn, which I didn't need to do, by the way, I do reveal to my opponent I only need one more high cost card in order to turn this into a 6/6 and challenge the Verdant Force. So information, I'm keeping that information quiet on the low, hoping my opponent doesn't power this up, or I draw a Frogify, or I draw a Windfall. I need a few things. This just hit me, so the chance of it being powered up is pretty slim. Gonna be a Crystal Flower. Wow, okay. Whoa, that's a big Crystal Flower play for me, because now my Archon could potentially take care of this, and it will. That's fantastic. Thank you very, very much. Let's get this Frogify. Let's take another Archon. Ah, I should have actually. So that's a situation I should have failed Experiment Stormspawn. But then again, no, information is key. I'm probably still going to be able to do this in a couple of turns, and if I draw that Windfall, I'm going to be able to double Faeria ramp into massive Archons. Now, one thing this deck used to do that I haven't included this time, which I'm actually tempted to actually change this card out for, is Aurora's Creation. One of the win conditions of this deck originally was just go for creation combos on the Archons and use the Archon as a win condition, and I'm now starting to lean towards that a little more, just because Aurora's tricks it's been a bit crap. that's the truth of it. This is kind of sad, actually. I can't run away from it, which is pretty good. I can just do this. See you later, buddy. And I can trick it. I feel like Creation's probably the better card. It just gives me more options in terms of creatures that can just stay on the board and cause problems. That seems pretty good. I actually have a potential combo coming up. Magda, how is it going? Okay. I want Windfall really badly. Really badly. Let's see if I can get it. I can't turn this. It's really annoying. I don't want to run two Archons into it. I just refuse. I refuse. I ain't doing that. This is awkward. See, I could failed experiment into Stormspawn, into Radiance, and then clear. I guess it's okay, because healing's not really the big deal right now. I'm just trying to get value. Stick it here, and then we can do this. Just clear this out. Clear this out. That was a pretty good turn, actually. I was a little reluctant to use Radiance there, but I'm just using this as a body. It was pretty expensive overall, but it did enable a very clean board clear and put a 10-8 right next to my opponent, which is a 2-turn lethal. It had its pros, for sure, and I'm not 100% certain my opponent can answer this. And Wood Elemental's not going to do it, that's for sure. Or a Willow, like anything like that is going to be a problem, because I can just use the trick. Doing it in front of my orb's a little sad, but... Faeria and Golem, okay. I can just kill this, that's pretty good. And set up an aggressive Archon. Yeah, we're going to do that. I could just get Magda going. That is another option. I have a lot of different decisions here. I can set up a more aggressive line with an aggro Archon, clear this out, and then just have a lake here with an Archon. Or I could just go for Magda, which is the slower play. We should seize our advantage going forward. Let's just go for the Archon. Because our opponent's Faeria starved anyway. I'm going to be able to neutral here next turn, or late here, and I can double collect, and then this is going to be free, so I'm going to try collect, then I can set up Magda, and that's going to just seal the deal for me. Let's just like double Deepwood Stalker to kill this off, or something that can challenge it. It's going to be very difficult for my opponent to win. And this is where Aurora's Creation could just be a better card to use than Aurora's Trick. Simply because it just enables a different win condition in the terms of the Archons. I can like copy Magnus in the red matchup, which would be nuts, because I just red deal with Magnus effectively. I can actually Creation Radiance. So I could go more back to the roots of the deck, and then I don't need, like, this card's not so dead in my hand, which is always great. I can just kill this. I don't really care. Like... Yeah. I could just ignore it. That worked to me as well. Yeah, just get cheeky Magda down. She can just relax here. We're actually staying away from Eridan. It's just Eridan's not getting anything done this game. Eridan was not the best line there. I don't know what my opponent had as an option, but Eridan wasn't helpful. I think land positioning was a problem in some ways because the Crystal Flower came on this position. Now Radiance is dead. Bye, Radiance. You did a good job. You killed a Faeria Golem and you killed an Eridan. And that's going to be a well played from my opponent. And there we have it. A win on the board. I'm feeling pretty good about this deck. It's pretty cool, but Trick. I'm not sure about Trick. Maybe one of each. I'm gonna try Creation. We might as well try it. So let's drop the Tricks and add Creation back into the deck. Alright guys, we have a run back with Demons. We're going first. 369, it's going to be harder to pull off the Windfall with this hand. So, yeah, let's just throw them away. Yeah, the Dragons picked up a very expensive hand overall. But we have the Archon to kick things off, which is very good. I should have maybe kept the Windfall, actually. A mountain. Alright, failed experiment, fantastic. Go for the lake. And now we have that option. A failed experiment into Stormspawn, and then I could go into Day of the Dragons if I have enough Faeria. And if I'm collecting enough Faeria as well, if I'm in a double collection position, it might benefit me as well. Now, I say I run back with D-Demons. D-Demons is playing mono red. I have played against D-Demons today, and this is where a Trick would actually be very, very good. So, reduce it by 4. I could get Magnus down. That's fantastic. Let's do that. And that's going to turn our Archon as well. Wait, no. Wait. Hold up. Nick, do your maths. That's pretty bad. That would have been a massive mistake. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's a sad Archon, that's for sure. Right. Now we're in business. Now we can go failed experiment into Stormspawn, into Magnus. Hurts us a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, we needed to draw actually. We just needed. Oh, that draw was sad. But we just need to draw because I need to find Radiance at this point. Last time I played this game, he didn't have double Bloodsinger. He had double Grimguard, and I was able to. This is very similar to what happened last time because I had an Archon and I had a Magnus. And I was explaining it earlier, I managed to Aurora into Krog. That was this game against this player. You can't run away, Bloodsinger. Oh, that worked out okay. That happens. That is a possibility, unfortunately. My 0-cost failed experiment. Like I said, it is possible. It's a little sad, but it does happen. And now I wish I had Trick, because if I could Trick this side, I'd be very happy. So Trick works in some matchups. It's a pretty good card overall. You have to steal. You have to steal into Barracks or something like that. No, it's just gonna go for the pre-hit, get that burn damage into Stormspawn. Now that's pretty good. What could I do here? Because I can Garadan, but Garadan doesn't really help me. I can go Failed into Storm Spawn into Windfall. That's going to give me 22 Faeria. Into Day of the Dragons. Into Tephra. And just Tephra this and just keep it alive on 1 health. Or turn this into Krog. I'll just clear it and just see what else I draw, I guess. Alright. Oh wow, okay. Why does this cost 7? Very interesting. Okay. Storm Spawn. This costs 3 now. Let's get this down. Do I double neutral? Oh, it can still block me regardless. Windfall. Let's go Magda. Oh, I don't know. I kind of messed up a little bit there, guys. Too much to think. We'll save that for next turn. Too much to think about. Hellfire's pretty deadly here. I think I should have blocked the collection. I'm the cost reduction on Radiance kind of messed with my head a little bit. It should have cost 5. I can start cleaning up stuff. Hello. Hello. Hang on a minute. So we Windfall here? 17? We're almost there, guys. I don't like this at all. I must be honest. Okay. I'm gonna wait. Because we need to be able to... Aurora's Dream? To get into Creation, to Creation Radiance, to heal like crazy. That's the plan. If I don't get double Flame Burst right now, or Hellfired and the Saddest Times... I don't even think I can get there. Like, what's the most I can get? 3, 2, 1. Actually, I can +1. As long as Magda lives, I can dream. I can go for the dream. But I feel like a Hellfire is coming my way. I need both Magda and Radiance to live. Cypher's fodder. Whew. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. Okay. So where things get very, very interesting. Please don't Flame Burst Magda. Free Faeria, collect 2, +1, dream into Creation. And I can smoke for 10. Don't want that. That's filling my hand up with nonsense that I don't need. Alright guys, moment of truth. Let's not have enough legs to do it. No! Oh no. Guess I just did this the old-fashioned way and just lore thief my way through. I should probably take my last lake. Alright, let's lore thief first, because I do need a creation. Pretty bad. Hello. Okay. Day of the Dragons. 3, 7, 8, 9. So I do need another card down before I do it. You know what? Let's kill this because this is going to deal 2 damage to me. And then reduce Radiance cost even further. I'm going to have to kill it anyway, so let's just do that. Just trying to maximize the amount of cards in my hand. Because it doesn't matter so much if I, like, whiff. If I lose a dragon here. Because I'm just trying to heal. Alright, so now hopefully that will keep me alive because Hellfire is so much more difficult. And there we have it, Creation actually doing a better job in the end than the Aurora's trick. Feels good. I like Creation back, and I forgot how good it was. I played this deck quite a lot, the original version by Snellian, when it was very powerful. And it had a different package of tricks. It used Yak Attack. This deck runs one, but it used Yak Attack. It was very reliant on Creation and Archons. This deck's obviously a little more cheesy because I'm using Dragons and Magda just for fun. But overall, it's been pretty cool so far. Let's get into our final game. Last one on the cards. We have Lore Thief, we have Archon with some good early plays. Let's throw away this Creation. We find another Archon. Now this is the ideal hand because we never know what we're going up against. If we're going up against another control deck, we can gear towards a more greedy hand. But because we're always going in blind on the ladder, getting the early game creatures for early game collection is always the best. And Archon is pretty fantastic because it's durable, it's 4/4, it's a reasonable stat size, and it can use the charge mechanic to zip around the board quite easily. Yep, let's get this Archon down. So Archon is gonna chill here for a moment. Gonna see into a water elemental, okay. Applying a lot of pressure down the left-hand side. It's absolutely fine. We can just set up another Archon to challenge the water elemental. I can now double collect any way I want, really. I can go double neutral up this way. I can double neutral out this way and kill the water elemental. If there's like a power-up or something, I can just use the... I could just double neutral up this way and collect and just move them all across. Playing around a sunken tower there. That's pretty good. Okay. Failed experiment. Fantastic. Could leave Archon here. Lore Thief is interesting because I do want Archon to be in a position to double collect easily. Let's just Lore Thief in the center to kind of telegraph an Aurora. Oh wow, okay. That's very interesting. That might. But there's a chance now I might just go for the Plague Bearer play if my opponent plays Aurora. Because it's a full board clear for me. No, actually, the Water Elemental will live, but it's a very good board clear for me, that's for sure. Aurora. Yep. The only problem with using Failed Experiment in this matchup for a player like that is I don't use it on Stormspawn, which is a little problematic overall. Because playing a raw Stormspawn is dangerous, like very dangerous. What do I need at this point? I feel like I'm missing something. It's probably Windfall, if anything. Let's take a draw. Okay. So now I can Failed Experiment into a Stormspawn. I could Failed Experiment again into the other Stormspawn, leaving this as a 6/6, retreat, and then just play an aggressive Plague Bearer, and just hope that it just dies. It probably will. I don't see why it wouldn't. I guess I could keep keep this a secret. You know what? Let's just get this down again. Okay. Go for that there. We need to retreat this because the frog can jump over the Plague Bearer. We'll pass, and then we'll go for Magnus next turn, perhaps. Or maybe we just save up towards Aurora's Dream and use that as our win condition. It's difficult for me to judge because I still don't know what type of deck this is. It could be It could be Jumping Reaver. It could just be a more traditional Dream Reaver build. I need more information. How greedy can I become? Because right now we're at 5 lakes. There's a library on board, which I can't do anything about. I don't have any removal for library in this deck. And there's also 2 lakes required until we're able to see a Dream Reaver come down from my opponent's side of the board. Magnus is kind of vulnerable to Frogify. I lose 6 Faeria if it gets Frogified. I feel like I just build towards Dream now. And just try and go for like a big day the Dragons play. I'll go like Yak Attack into Orose. That's an option as well. Let's just do that. That's what I'm going to gear towards. I'm just so afraid of that Dream Reaver. Fugoro. Now, Fugoro was a card I strongly considered putting in the deck, but I couldn't find room for it. And it meant I had to build up to 6 lakes rather than 5, and 5 kind of the magic number. Okay, Triton Warrior. So this still could be Dream Reaver. It's hard to say right now. Alright, let's take a lake. Wait, what? Okay, I meant to take a lake, but I must have flicked onto the card draw. Free 18. I could wait, but Dream Reaver is very deadly in this position. So let's get an Archon down as a defender and pass. I really want to gear it towards Aurora's Dream. I was meant to lake that turn. I was going to just wait until I could play Aurora's Dream, but I drew by accident, and it actually worked out for me in some ways because Archon is a good way to challenge this Triton Warrior, maybe force a Frogify. And if this wants to collect, I can kill it. Like I said, just Dream Reaver is pretty terrifying at this point, just because I don't have a good answer to it. It's going to be the Frogify, okay. Just going to bop that. A lot of pressure. I don't like it. Another Triton Warrior. Double collect 16. I lose this guy if I'm not careful. Well, this is just, they can just trade. I get to go to 16, 19. It's gonna be a long way away from this. I should just draw. I should try and find more options. Yak Attack, pretty good. Actually, I get to kill the Triton, but I think I'd just rather play Plague Bearer. I guess I could just double collect, play Plague Bearer, and pass. I could Creation this actually preemptively, just to make sure I have a good follow-up play. Can Creation this, but I don't have the lakes to do it. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go for this here, and then just go for the Plague Bearer. Just gonna kill the Water Elemental. It's gonna help me kill this Triton. These two trade, but then I can Yak Attack. Potentially have a 0-cost Archon follow-up. It's a double collector on the right-hand side. It's not looking great. I must be honest, it's not looking great at the moment. So now Dream Reaver could come down, and then I'm banking on drawing a Frogify. And I'm just behind for the rest of the game because I'm just constantly afraid of Dream Reaver and like follow-up Dream Reavers. It goes for 3 damage. Okay, so maybe no Dream Reaver around. Could be Colossus. Okay, goes for the Battletoads. Now I have Frogify. That's pretty good. Oh, if only I could get neutrals here. Neutrals here would be fantastic. If I could get neutrals here, I could kill the library with Yak Attack. So maybe I just do it this way instead. Okay. I gotta kill the Battletoads. I'm gonna move this out of the way of Fagoro. And at least now, if Fagoro wants to clear this, he has to build land to double neutral up this way to be able to finish this off. And that's like a land investment. That's a slower line. And this did collect a Faeria for me. I was gonna go for a trick. good old Aurora's trick. And it has haste as well, so it can collect. That's a fantastic trick there. I like collecting. I don't feel there's a need to push 3 damage at this point. My opponent's really far ahead. Let's throw a Triton. That lines up very well in this position because of the Angry Yak. I don't see why you wouldn't jump here to move this back into double collection, but that's fine. Let's take a draw. Now all the Frogifiers are showing up, which is bad for me because my opponent can still Frogify my stuff. I just lose my Harvester. I feel like just move here and hope for the best and just hope my opponent doesn't have Frogify. I mean, I could preemptively Frogify this now just to make sure that if this gets Frogified, they trade. But I'm in a pretty rough position. The library is winning the game here. Yeah, I mean, I should have Frogified in advance, so they trade because I don't have an answer to Fagoro. But I'm probably gonna throw in the towel. I don't see how I come back from this position. I needed like I needed an opportunity where I could play Aurora's Dream. And maybe I should have. I was playing around Dream Reaver. That was my problem. If I just said to myself, okay, my opponent doesn't have Dream Reaver in their deck, that's fine. I'll just play like my opponent doesn't have Dream Reaver in deck and go for the Aurora's Dream win condition. I would be in a better position. But the problem was, I was so afraid of Dream Reaver, I played around the idea of my opponent having Dream Reaver, and ultimately that actually made my chance of winning worse, where I should have just said, okay, if my opponent is a Dream Reaver deck, I'll lose anyway. I'll go for the Aurora's Dream win condition, and then I have a higher chance of actually winning this match. So a misplay from me, just in general, just a big game misplay, kind of a state of mind misplay more than anything. Definitely should have went for the Dream combo. So let's just throw in a towel here. Actually, I'll draw off my Power Wheel. I'll draw off Lore Thief just to see what's going down. What my next few draws were. Dream of Dragons. I mean, I could Windfall. I mean, I still have a Garadan line. I could have a Garadan line with the Failed Experiment. But no, I'm going to throw in a towel here. A good game to my opponent. No, I mind gamed myself during that match. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how this has performed. It's pretty cool considering it's an old deck from way last year sometime. And it hasn't seen the light of day for a long time. I'm glad I was able to bring it back and show a new version of it with Day of the Dragons and Magda. And that wraps up this episode of Will It Work? And to answer that question, I believe it did work. It was definitely a strong control deck. I felt more comfortable in the mid-range matchups and the control matchups, so if I continued to play against those decks, I think I would have been fine. I did end up going against a few tempo decks. That blue deck Jump was kind of like a tempo-orientated deck. I'm not sure if Dream River was even in the list. It was 7 Lakes. And there's also the Burn deck, but that was just more unfortunate. That was just unlucky. My opponent had a pretty crazy hand that I couldn't respond to without another Frogify. But overall, I'm very happy with this deck, and I feel like I'm probably going to revisit it in the next episode. I do want to try a green-blue variant, which Modnik piloted a very long time ago and created. And that was a lot of fun, so I will try that variant because I feel like Aurora's Dream into Frog Tossers could be very strong. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, drop a subscribe to keep up to date of when our content goes live. Hope you're enjoying this loyalty patch that has come about. Just making some fun changes to some underplayed cards, and I'm having a blast with them so far, and I hope you guys are enjoying the content. So until next time, guys, take care and enjoy Dream of Dragons.